Hey, this is conservative, bro. Like a buffalo. Comment below your thoughts on this. Yeah, but today we're gonna talk about Donald J. Trump. We're gonna continue to this topic right here. I am surprised at the fact that, as a billionaire, he's willing to go as far as he's been to go against powerful people in power, corruption, go against people that, willing to, tons of billionaires, think about it, tons of million, other rich people that evade taxes that they do not attack on this type of way. You know, Trump may have said some things, they've done a lot worse, in my opinion, when it comes to people in general that do not wish to follow uh, taxes. And there's like, why just do him and not just, or somebody from his party, with whatever taxes, or just pass the FBI raid at 5 a.m. or 3 a.m. or whatever, trying to embarrass him or something. When, yeah, it's just really, you know, something within people's family or people have something else to focus on. Like if that same energy was focused on improving the economy in some type of way, adding more jobs, doing things of that nature, it would be like amazing thing that we ever seen in this country, right? Issues to be resolved like this crime, um, people just helping others in need with this much effort. I mean, we need to do something, right? Uh, there's so much going on. What can we do? What organizations can get together to solve this issue? And it's surprising that attacking somebody the most focused on thing instead of improving the situation. Like let the stats talk on the TV. Like how much blocks someone gets, how much on say basketball game, interceptions or whatever on the football game, how much a goal may have blocked. It does not mean you win the game in any ways. You only win by scoring. So it's the same thing. Like nobody is gonna cares as much as the best defensive person in the year versus someone who got 30 points per game, plus 25, got 10 assists, and or whatever, 10 to 12, and that's absolutely, but that's an add-on. It's not, 10 blocks, 10 rebounds, and 5 steals, and it's the best in the year. You got to score points. If that was the way that, if that's how everybody will win. I've heard that Trump sometimes in a sense, not because he's not scoring, not because he's, but it seems like feels like he's one of those things that, I didn't like there's already enough going on in other things. So I'm not even saying, but I'm saying that I think it's about trouble because the amount of like hostility in this country and like let's say 2020 and stuff, and just that could have been prevented by just staying quiet or saying fewer sentences or about an issue, putting stats up. I think a lot of times stats can do a lot of the talking as well. Um, And then, yeah, so it's like one of these things where he could have won in 2020, I believe, if he wasn't so focused on what people who already like him think. So, how far can a man go with unknown people, strangers, or with, I might even say that. But if everybody, if your family, let's say, lives in Ohio, right? You live in, I don't know, Georgia. Even though they support you over there, it's like, or even opposite, let's say where you live, people support you, but you're trying to win in another state. It can be totally different. And I feel like it's the same way here. If you are, let's say, whatever team you want to play, Golden State, that average, that the Bucks, um, you're trying to sell your Warriors jerseys and hats in other states. You know, what you can say to either attract or to um to get people to do it, it can make a big difference. And I don't believe 100% that just focusing on the policy is going to attract people. Just talking about a policy or thinking that a policy can, policy issue fixes can automatically fix on how an outside viewer might view you or how might be more attracted to you. Because I don't see anything like that happen ever again, man. And I feel like if it was even Charlie Kirk, if he was alive, God bless his family, him in heaven as well, his kids. If he was a running candidate for 2028, let's say, right? A lot of people believe that's why what happened happened. And I believe that um, he can attract people to from a different walks of life because we've seen LGBTQ people thank him though, like they found Christ with his conversation. They found Christ. They got no perspective. They this and that. That's a whole nother topic talking about Charlie Kirk. But what I am going to talk about is the fact that he's one of those people to me that proves that you can be outspoken and be attractive and attract others to what truths you can say, to hard concepts, hard topics to talk about and be successful. Like he wasn't like homeless doing the type of job, he was doing his thing. And no knocks to that as well. I'm surprised Nicki Minaj as well is you know been with his organization, taking pictures or whatever, talking about this. I think that is amazing. Whether it's a long hauler or whether it's somebody who just genuinely supports and is maybe repentant for what she used to support. So, regardless of the issue, I believe this is a long-term thing with her. We can talk about it in another episode, right? But with Charlie Kirk, if Trump were to, just it's hard, man. When the other side does almost everything to try to stop him. He's answered questions from left and right, and all these different news people, not afraid to speak and not afraid to fix problems when it needs to be solved. If people are in the office, and the boss has a problem and the boss goes and drives to wherever he got to drive to make it easy to go and solve the problem, and that is an amazing boss. So I don't care if you're willing to stop the work days, willing to get people together, try to solve instead of just stay in the office the whole day to be chill. Just you know, uh, free, free whatever, free drinks, free water bottles, free Powerades, whatever you want to think about. Free, I don't know, sandwiches or donuts. Uh, in a bad situation, we're not in 2004 kind of politics or situations with the economy and things of that nature. Like taking a toll on the economy for because somebody wants to wear certain things or not, or somebody wants to, uh, to basically jeopardize or gamble with your family over a topic of, another man who doesn't know you, doesn't know your family, is not interested the same way you are, doesn't view your family the way you view your family, doesn't view your importance the same way you view yours, and can't at the same time only you can guide the situation, and that can affect the greatness of a country much more. Not talking about MAGA here as well, but just I don't like that too much. Yeah, not saying I don't support, but I believe making the country better is better than again making it great again. I understand the support behind it. We leave it like that. It's a country, and just like anything, it can get better and better. We've seen sports players do it. We've seen all types of people. We've seen politics get better and better. We've seen all types of things. I feel like in some instances that was probably Charlie Kirk's downfall. Could have been the fact that he could have been a little bit too emotional, a little bit too loud on certain things, right? I don't believe that it's always the answer. Ignorant as well, it just tells that I'm not saying that's the reason why. I don't believe that they, some guy from like LGBTQ or some black guy was the one that killed him or something like that, just because he said to go back to work, like if that was enough to make someone want to kill somebody else. I'm not gonna say that, but hey, way I see it, whatever community you're from, that you think you represent, or you like to say, you're from LGBTQ or whatever, if other people that are from your community or that's in like him, if you're black, there's other black people like him in huge numbers, why would think it's okay to try to attack or, or whatever? I'm not talking about if it comes to physical, but what I'm talking about, it just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm gonna leave that part right there. And I wish that these two men could come together and find a better way of strategy to even Eric Kirk if possible, I'm saying, to attract others. I love that. The fact, I don't know how Trump did it, if it was intentional or not, but how he attracted the youth to vote, as he did in 2015, and even in the last elections. I think it's absolutely amazing. It's very wide. It's an 18 to 24, I believe, coming not only to the conservative movement, but to Christ, and that's like at the same time as well, is absolutely amazing. God bless America. We have songs like that, national anthem, things of that nature. Absolutely amazing. The opportunities that people, the diversity selections like that, like you can't do that every other day. You want to eat something Italian dish, you want to eat, you know, English muffin, Chinese food. You can do that all in the same day in this country. It even got to be like far distance either. Whether it's a delivery or this and that too, you might have to make to do all three. It's still possible, and I think that's amazing. And when it comes down to things like, I mean, well, I think we just got to face the facts for everybody. If the economy gets 10 times worse, but your favorite politician is smiling and having a great time and it's jacuzzi or something, like nothing ever happened, I said, oh, right? That's not like what is more important, or do you feel like that politician is actually genuine with your life, your livelihood, your care, your family, your life? Is anger only the answer in your mind? Because when we look at the situation, Trump with the tips thing, that is absolutely amazing. That tips are non-taxable. It's like, wow, that doesn't only, it makes you, the workers that work there, want to spend more money, let's say, on food or whether they eat things like that. That goes around the economy. Maybe travel a little more around the state or the city or whatever it is. Have more. That is absolutely he has a certain veterans check. People get nothing, handicap, mental situations over wars and bombs going off, and just abandoning like a piece of trash or something just because they got hurt, like a loser or something, and finally had something to you know something to show for war besides how much veterans are at the VA and they're not like living like amazing. I don't see the VA filled with like Mustangs parked there, nothing of that sort. No VA, whatever, you want to talk about no VA assistance, no VA anything, right? Or it's not to the level of what he's doing with $1,000 checks. Like that is a lifesaver for anybody in a bad situation. They say many homeless populations were veterans as well. So you could be helping people in that type of situation as well. That before they went to war, right? They were not in that situation that they're in now. So think about that. It's not like 50 years later, they decided to become homeless or something. Sometimes it's right after the war, like you couldn't deal with the situation, just a certain pain, certain things. Even like let's say a divorce as well. They like some people go through divorces, right? But imagine you can't even be there in a divorce. You don't know what's going on. You can't, because you're in another country. You can't help your family. You can't do anything. And to blame the whatever you had to see through war or do or and all these types of dangerous atmospheres. And, like to me, saying, right? That after all of that, there's no guarantee in anything besides, after all the trauma, just a way to college, for example, a tuition. Um, these other institutions even that things to do with housing, which I think is amazing that can help them. So this is absolutely great. Like if you were your boss or there's a boss doing, even if the boss didn't speak well, best of ways or spoken anger, just assisting in any of those ways, right? A job like that, housing, and what's it called? Money, tips. Um, like, yeah, like if there would be any type of job like offering anything like that to like members only or to people only, I'm pretty sure you would love that job immediately. And so people, when it comes to even to COVID-19, right? People say Biden put the stimulus check, but Biden was not interested in doing the type of stuff that he's doing right now with veterans, doing with all the tax breaks in any type of way. So we can see now that it was the idea taken from Trump and branded in the Biden family name into the public, into what we see is going on. And, you know, when it's one of those things, when the president can't talk or can't do something, the vice president's supposed to be there, right? I heard some great speeches from J.D. Vance and stuff, but Trump's is active, his mental is active. He moves around different states if he has to talk about issues and that, or even just wherever he's at. He's not getting dodging too many, every single question, and people are on questioning his mental, his. I feel like that's a big part of it at that age as well, just being moving around, right? Being around family can help you remember as well. So I don't see signs of him going down a bad path or just out of relevance. Like Charlie Kirk that just did the USA, the amount of money raised, the amount of influence, the colleges, the this and that was going on with him, the risks. It was like, wow. And he was inspired by Trump. Trump helped produce somebody like that. Like, oh my, yeah, these are the types of things. So it's not even 100% Trump that got me into caring about these elections and things like that. The way that I feel more empowered. It's not just like something, a decision, just any old decision to be made, but it's more the fact that the impact of the man that we're voting for, even if whatever happened or whatever, they shake hands and the Florida governor, he produced that man. Like people like him, whatever. People like him better for Trump. The only reason he's interested is because of Trump, and they became the governor of Florida and did those great things. So it has to be some type of valor, some type of, people still like to go to Florida, no matter what. and even more with the benefits, the like you even want to remove if you own a house, you paid for it. Like you shouldn't be paying taxes on that. Let's say the house was worth $100,000, $500,000. Let's say it's $500,000 house and you paid for it over whatever 60 years, whatever. You shouldn't have to pay $5,000 a year, right? That sounds insane. It's $100,000 house, $1,000. You know what I mean? Old people that retired from the jobs and stuff. That like it doesn't make too much sense to me, and it doesn't to him either. And he wants to do that. So if any of your favorite people would like to take $1,000 bill from you, or even your boss, whoever it is, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't say no, thank you. So when it comes down, a lot of people don't even, to be honest, you don't see your favorite people every day or most of the day. Whether that's your wife, whether that's your kids, whether that's a family member, a friend, you're at your job for a certain amount of time, then you're home, then you're resting or whatever, TV, whatever it is that you're gonna do. So that favorite experience that you have with them, you can't always have that, and you're not always around that. So even if you're just opting out, as some people say, of kind of like society or the pressures of life, the boss, all these different things that seem like you get in the way constantly in this life here, that can just be stressful. Managers just want to constantly put more pressure, more and more and more and more, and pay the same, or less, late, fire, close. Just every aspect of life. Like to me, it's absolutely amazing. The times that we're living right now, where you can have that type of option. I'm not against that. Not against people working from home, but sometimes it's really that simple, very sadly. Like, I used to, like, sometimes we think that these issues are really huge in life, right? Like, it's just 100% just absolutely insane that this person doesn't want to vote for this person, and whether they are or not, sadly, for decades, many decades, statistics have said that most voters are single issue voters or issue voters. It's not, and most voters, like, it's so low of the voters that are mostly policy based. Very sad. Policy helps the economy. It helps. It helps with every aspect of life. So to me, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. It's one of those things where it's like really, I understand everybody might have that type of way of understanding or whatever, just the amount of hatred in the country. I don't believe it's 100% one man's fault. Like, it's not like one man leaves and everything is solved. Um, Like, people say that he is the reason for racism. How? I think there is already racist people in this country before he became president, and whether they decide to continue in that realm or not, that has nothing to do with the president. Um, doing a background check on who's racist and who's not. Um, in his position, I understand it's hard to find supporters in general. Um, and I'm not making any statement for what I'm saying is that these are things that are what things that are sensitive, and at the same time, these are things that are not the easiest to detect. Like certain things, not even going to whatever it is, but um, someone, whether someone believes in forgiving, whether somebody doesn't, that's not his fault. If somebody believes in whatever or not, or they make these things. Biden has made uh, what's it called, statement as well, and after what happened to Biden, it seems like there is it's harder to see what is too far. Biden has been forgiven, and so I think the real issue sometimes is that people have this belief that if more people of a certain race becomes in power, then it automatically means that it's not racist, right? When people just being a statue of I don't want to say liberty, but just being a statue or a representation of that, and are not. That it's just a living statue. That's what I want to say. Like a living statue, it just looks good, but doesn't solve anything. That is not something that is. Someone pretends to be a manager for a day. That doesn't mean that he's a manager. Someone pretends to be a cop. They can go to jail for that, and it doesn't mean that he's a cop. Whether he talks the same way, whether the guy talks like the president, or it could sound presidential, or may even look like somebody. Hey, somebody's doing impersonations. You're good at impersonations. So it's just one of those things where we can only go so far sometimes. And I see nothing but support before he was president, even in the 80s, when basically in his prime, he could have just left people behind, right? Like a lot of people do in the fame. They don't bring nobody up. They don't support absolutely nobody. They don't do anything. All about that. Nobody says anything. And even if they're your own race or not, I think that's a bigger issue than what we're talking about here. Because there's a lot of people that don't support as much whatever race that you are, how much of your race supports. And like Trump did, when he supported a lot of rappers, dancers, and things like that in the 80s, saying that black people was one of the most amazing people he's ever met in his life. I don't think I ever heard anybody say to somebody white in my life either. And I'm not saying that to somebody that's white either. So, this is what I mean and what I'm saying that everything that everybody does or not, hey, hey, what can you provide? Do they really care? Or is a one issue thing? Is it just that they're scared to go against the community? They're scared to go against what they've been going against for a certain amount of time. They're scared of, what some liberals may or may not do to them. I say liberals because I think it can be different than someone who votes a certain way, someone who believes that they can treat somebody any type of way because of freedom, or do any kind of thing that may or may not harm somebody. So that said, roll out, comment below, like above, and all down. From here, see you next time.